These upending experiences can be deeply personal and, as in my case, literally cosmic. But whatever they are, they have a habit of boring deep into the very foundations of our stories and calling into question the validity of core elements of the story. Once that happens, the story needs a part two, an after. The big lesson I learned from wrestling with my own curveballs is how deeply my faith in God had been cemented in fear, which is to say, how I viewed God as very much antagonistic toward me. And so any thought on my part of listening to my experiences and interrogating my inherited faith, to inspect its boundaries, let alone climb over its walls, was seen as a crisis that had to be averted, or at least resolved immediately. But over time, I would come to see that this is precisely the wrong attitude to take. This fear crisis model of faith, where all things had to fall into place or else, was simply no match for my raw, complex, messy, out-of-control existence. And this got me thinking differently about God. If the infinite God of the cosmos is real, surely God understands my puny humanity and sees my questions and struggles as more than a nuisance. It would take years for me to truly accept the idea that my disruptive experiences are not outside impositions to or an attack on my faith, but are the soil out of which my faith matures and takes shape. The thought of ignoring what my head and heart were screaming at me and simply staying the course became not only more and more difficult, but, if God is truly real, utterly nonsensical. Can I really ignore my experiences? Can any of us? Is this really what God expects of us? If we ignore them, then what is left of us? This realization was the game changer. It created a space for me to step away from the fear crisis model of faith and toward a curious, hopeful model. That model is built on seeing God as a relentless, compassionate inner presence in my life, always beckoning me forward. That model is one of peace, curiosity, and hopefulness, and rests on my embrace of the mystery and love of God. I value the experiences of my younger years. They are still part of my story. I'm still a Christian, but a different sort of Christian than before. I am not one driven by fear of slipping off the tightrope with the next stiff wind. Rather, I'm seeking to live into the sacred space of God's presence with curiosity, hope, peace, and love of others. I believe this is the type of relationship God seeks to have with us. I continue writing my narrative, of course, as are we all. We are dealing, after all, with the infinite creator of the infinite cosmos, so how can it be otherwise? Working out faith on the go, as it were, is very good news indeed. I can live my life seeking God with curiosity, courage, security, and peace, knowing that making adjustments is a part of the life of faith. Jesus said, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly." John 10:10. An abundant faith while embracing the curveballs of life. That's what I'm after, and that's what this book is all about. Chapter 1. My True Purpose, or Not. At the age of 9, I found my true purpose in life, to play Major League Baseball. I'd been smitten with the baseball bug while flipping channels and landing on WPIX-11 in New York City, the station that carried Yankees games. I still have a memory of those innocent black and white images. My parents were German immigrants who knew nothing of baseball, so it came to me as something of a spiritual epiphany rather than an heirloom. To this day, I thank my lucky stars for this formative moment, and that I didn't stop at WOR9 and become a Mets fan. Now, spoiler alert, I did not become a professional baseball player. So why am I still thanking my lucky stars? Because you never outgrow your childhood passions, and if you're lucky, you get to bring them back into your life in ways you couldn't have predicted when you were all or nothing convinced.